Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's the Summit 3 America Qualifier Phase Number 1, and we are down to what could be the very last game of Phase Number 1. If Pain Gaming win this one, they are going to be the second team to qualify and make it into Phase Number 2. But will Boreal have an answer?
Time will tell. Pain Gaming, they played it well. Not only did they have the better late-game team as that game went on for over 50 minutes, but boy, did they play with some patience, some control. They could have sealed the deal maybe a little earlier, but they didn't roll the dice. They stayed steady, took the safe plays.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that, them put together a draft that plays it very safe, something that as long as they just execute, do their jobs appropriately, they could be able to make it happen in the end, which is where it counts, because it's all about taking down that throne and getting the win, not about looking stylish and bringing in kills early game.
Absolutely. With that, let's look at this draft, see what these teams are cooking up. It's Pain Gaming that gets the first pick this go-around. Whoa. All right, almost caught you there. They get the clockwork to get things started. This go-around, Boreal will try the Shadow Fiend.
So Boreal with the Shadow Fiend. We saw how much prominence it was there for Pain's side, especially in the late game. Even though he got dominated in the early game, he still managed to find his way later on, which is what is most important. But they have not banned out the Sniper, and they can't pick it up here. And Pain Gaming already have a clockwork. If I don't see a frickin' Sniper pop up right here for Pain Gaming, I don't know what the hell's wrong with Dota. Oh, wow. What a surprise. It's a Sniper. Ho-ho, ha-ha.
Hee-hee. Okay. Hey there. Oh, there. Hi there. Your friendly neighborhood Sniperino.
I'm a freaking prophet. I called it.
One of the
my God.
best heroes to go up against Shadow Fiend. I would reckon better than the Viper because outside of the laning phase, Sniper offers you a lot more. Viper dominates maybe a little harder in the lane itself, but Sniper can tango towards the late game, move around a little bit more, and he can find those kills from afar. We've seen how much damage Assassinate can do early on.
Yeah.
Good opener for Pain Gaming here, probably getting the edge in these first two picks.
We saw it with Void Boys, man. They put together a huge farm on that Sniper. Beyond, he was crazy. He was beyond godlike. Am I right?
Oh.
Beyond God.
Oh, I got you. That's good, actually. That's good. I like that.
Thanks you. Thank you. Boreal, though, they ban out. Look at this. Respect towards the King RD Disruptor. Get that shit out of here. They ban it out.
All right.
You don't see that very often. Last time I saw Respect Disruptor bans was like TI4 qualifiers when they kept doing it to Whitebeard.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all he would play.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Only play Disruptor, and we laugh because he has a white beard. Like, well, I guess he just plays Whitebeard hero Disruptor all the time.
Yeah.
And eventually they just kept banning it out.
I can appreciate a man who really gets into the lore like that, sticks to his guns, you know, only heroes with white beards. But no, I mean, they really picked on King RD that game. We saw the Bat Rider prioritize with lassos in, 3 team fights in a row. He was the lasso target that got blown up right away, and once they had that one fight where it backfired, he was still able to get his ultimate off, and that's when things started turning. So I think a worthy ban, not a fun hero player combo to go up against. But here you go. Nice safe support with their third pick. They get the Lion. Can't go wrong with all that crowd control and all that burst.
Yeah, and Boreal probably not going to be afraid to put Lion in that nice little 4 position where he can get that Bleak Dagger pretty early. Earthshaker will still manage to get something for himself. Pain Gaming respond. They get up their first support of the draft so far, and their Witch Doctor. Look at it go. And you got your Coconut, which can work good with contested battles, which Shadow Fiend does thrive on, and you get a bit of sustain with the heal, but an immediate response coming out from Boreal Esports as they pick up the Storm Spirit.
So they get Storm Spirit to try and deal with the Sniper.
Yeah.
They've also got Earthshaker, Blink Hex, a lot of gap closers here.
A bit of an oversight, I'd say, to be banning out the Slark and not the Storm Spirit in the previous banning phase for Pain Gaming.
Yeah.
I understand the Spectre, and some teams do play it, like Void Boys. You know, I know Pat Soul plays a pretty mean Spectre and can work good as a late-game potential carry against Sniper, where you're always able to still get in his face. But Storm Spirit, man, he has just been one of the number 1, number 2 go-tos on taking care of a Sniper.
Yeah, the difference I would say is that Storm is a little easier to deal with. Maybe a little easier to counter than Slark in a lot of ways.
I bet they were just anticipating this was a mid-lane Shadow Fiend and they wouldn't even have to ban out a Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing more and more safe lane Storms.
Yeah, Boreal is showing that they can still do something like that, whether it's a safe lane Shadow Fiend or a safe lane Storm.
Yeah, I feel like Boreal drafted this very nicely, though, in terms of why are we rioting?
No, they're not rioting. They're saying hi to PPD.
Oh, they're saying hi to PPD. Okay. I thought we may have
Hey,
muted
PPD, how you doing? Everyone is just so friendly here.
Oh, no, we're actually dropping frames.
Oh, we're dropping frameage?
Well, we were. I think we might be back here. Like, let's not overreact. Looks like our frames are holding steady. Okay.
Someone's downloading something in this house.
We might have had a little hiccup there, but I think we're back. I think we're good. We're holding steady with a few frames drops. All right, phew. Crisis averted. But I like the way Boreal drafted this. Lion, one of the better supports to deal with the Storm Spirit, and they pick him up first. You see that line, you go, okay, well, that's just a regular support pick, and now you've got a Storm, and you don't really have as many counter picks in the pool available. But Pain gets someone else to deal with the Storm Spirit, and that's that pink Faceless Void.
I like Faceless Void here. Obviously, you get your dynamic duo with your Witch Doctor, which we already know what a Death Ward can do with a Chronosphere, but Sniper also contributes so much damage from the outside of this bubble that I wouldn't mind seeing something fun here to round things out. What about a mid lane Magnus? That would be certainly something special here for Pain Gaming if they want to go down that road, but otherwise, oh no, they have Sniper, that's right. I'm like slipping, but for safe lane potential, unless it's a safe lane farming Void, nowadays I don't really know. I mean, we just saw,
it's really hard to say.
Yeah,
it is a
safe lane because they have
with the
Clockwork.
offlane Clockwork, it is still a little hard to say though. They could do something crazy.
So they need a last support. That's what they need.
Yeah.
Ancient Apparition. I'm going to throw that out there.
That would have been perfect, but look at what Boreal banned out. Whoa!
Oh, dang it.
The Prophet KotLGuy. No, it would have been the perfect pick here, though. Seriously. A great way to deal with that Storm Spirit. Huge synergy with the Void. Who else would be good here? Other supports that can help do some damage in the Chrono.
Since Skyreth Mage also banned.
Yeah.
Range support.
Disruptor would have been great here as well. There's the Omni Knight from Boreal.
Pugna.
So is this a core Shaker or a core Omni Knight? Is this offlane Omni Knight here?
I don't know. I'm still thinking of what Pain games you're picking. Omni Knight? It could be an offlane Shaker with a Lion Omni duo, or or it could be an offlane Omni, or they could run duels. I'm not too sure, man. That's interesting. The Omni Knight, huh? I guess they don't have any diffusal holders, but what if they get a silencer here? Get a silencer! It stops Earthshaker from getting a huge initiation in there. Storm Spirit certainly doesn't like it. Omni Knight could have trouble.
That silencer, I think, is almost the perfect pick here.
Like adds right click to the Chronosphere of Faceless Void.
Yeah, can transition into a tertiary carry.
I'm gonna keep saying those freaking heroes because they just never get picked up.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Pugna. We're on the same level. We have like a 30-minute theory crafting session about Pugna, and I am convinced that hero is really strong. But it seems like no one else is convinced.
They're thinking real hard about this one.
Shadow Shaman.
Okay.
Little ward cleave going on. Death ward, snake or serpent wards.
Can't ward in the Chrono, but he does have fantastic lockdown. I mean, it's boring, but you know.
Hey, there's nothing boring about lockdown, Dakota. It's a necessity.
I want something funky and fresh. You know how it goes.
This will be an interesting game for Pain. I think they'll be in the clear once that Void gets to like the level 11 mark and that Chronosphere isn't on that huge 2-minute and 10-second cooldown. But outside of that, they should be okay. Omni Knight, he struggles in the lane. And are we going to see who is the offlaner here?
Looks like it's going to be an offlane.
Willis, the offlane Earthshaker.
Okay,
so we've talked about this a bit, but I don't think we've actually seen it in the games that you and I have cast.
No, we haven't seen it here. We've seen Empire roll with it. Yoki, after he gets that much warranted axe ban every draft, has been recently picking up a lot of the offlane Earthshaker play. Maybe Willis has been watching it a bit, or maybe he just feels comfortable enough rolling with it. Has that little bit of KZZ flavor in there, but we'll have to see if he's going to be able to hold his own. Who would he be going against here? It would probably be the Faceless Void lane, along with the Shadow Shaman and a Witch Doctor. That is a lot of zoning potential. Earthshaker, if he goes at this offlane as a solo, it's not going to be an easy time. They might consider running duels on the side of Boreal.
Yeah.
With the Omni Knight, maybe.
Omni Knight Earthshaker.
I don't know.
What a strong lane duo that is.
It's that, or Omni tries to be the one to zone in the top lane. And and a Clockwork back. That's not happening.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's the problem I'm seeing with this Boreal draft. Where I look at their lineup and go, wow, that mid-game team fight is really scary. You've got your Guardian Angel, huge damage, great initiation once the Blink Daggers come out, but getting there is going to be the hard part. They've got some rather weak lanes, I would say, relative to Pain Gaming, and they're going to have to be very careful not to get run over too quickly at the opener here.
Definitely have to say, Pain Gaming, not the most pleasant cosmetics to look at here. You got the Cholulu Faceless Void. Sniper's got the crazy-ass robotic thing happening here. Not a big fan of that. Witch Doctor has nothing, who has no Witch Doctor cosmetic? Does he even have one?
How do you not have any Witch Doctor cosmetics? There's like a handful of heroes that have had commons that have been spammed to me since my first game in Dota 2, and it's like Witch Doctor, Morphling, and Omni Knight are my top 3 that I have.
You don't even have like a satchel or something like that you throw on? Nothing? All right, King RD. You play too much Disruptor, I suppose, but uh-oh, here we go. Boreal could be crossing paths with Tavo. They see him, they slam down the fissure, they followed up with the Earth Spike. There's a heal bomb, there's a raise. Holy crap, how you doing? Welcome to game number 2, says Boreal, as they get the first blood taking down Precious Little Clockwork.
747. Susie Q gets the first blood. Levels up the Shadow Rays first, so doesn't get the maxed out Necro Mastery, but still huge gold going his way. Obvious victory for Boreal. Great way to get this game 2 started when they are on the brink of elimination.
I'm really curious now to see what they are going to be doing with
King
these
RD.
ladies. Willies goes bottom. King RD. Oh, crap. Right-clicked on the ass.
Right, he went boots first. He's not in as much danger as I thought.
He'll be A-okay, but it looks like Willies will be on his own for this Earthshaker. The nice thing is, similar to like your Clockwork, he can find his own way to even out the Creequilibrium here as he blocks out the creeps from coming here with his fissure, and then we'll proceed with the body block. This gets him really close to that tier 2 tower. They're going to try their best to try to block it on the other side, but Earthshaker should be able to get to an easy level 2.
They're privy to it. They know what's going on. Bogga in the front lines with that slow movement speed, doing really good blocking here. Willez does a good job himself, gets the Creequilibrium pretty close to his tower, but we'll see how the lane actually goes for him. Now back to the top. It's going to be a 2-on-3. Pain with a 2-on-2 coming out. And Tavo and King RD going to have their work cut out for him. Looks like Juan will hang out up here, and Omni Knight will just be stacking and pulling, trying to get his XP going on with that first point, putting the purification.
Both of these supports showing off their early boots on how they can kind of get in and out with a quick last hit and bounce back in the dark before they can make any sort of retort here. Just a chess game early on here in the top lane from both sides, but Juan could be in trouble here. Tavo moves forward. Not enough time yet for the cogs to bounce up, but now they'll get it here. Oh, they second-guess the commit because of the heal bomb coming out from Dewey, but they do force Dewey to use a bit of early mana.
Yeah, I think that was well played.
Step back and away.
Tavo saw what was coming. He could have put down the cogs and maybe gotten the double mana drain. I think it's the only way you find a little extra efficiency there, but holding onto them in case there's some kind of rotation from Tiburon or someone else, and he needs them for the escape. Still a 2-on-3 setup, difficult for Pain. They need to get a lot out of this bottom lane. Whoa, Tavo throws out the cogs, but Juan, he gets stuck inside. Purification comes out, one more auto attack, beautifully played by Tavo. Fogs with this cute little tree here, pops his salve, and he lives. Very close call, though.
Well, I got a little frantic there because action broke out in the bottom lane as well, but Willies is going to be fine, and he starts beelining it towards that 2-minute rune. You can see already congestion here at the top, and Shadow Fiend able to grab that one. Willies will get the bottom. Boreal grab both runes and walk back to their lane. So unfortunate movement coming out from Pain Gaming early on to try to help out their potential mid laner and prevent the off laner from getting extra. But there's going to be an early stun on the Tiburon, but he's not too worried about that. They get their side pull right here. And now Stormspirit will be able to work with some CS under the tower. Dewey also nearby gets the other pull. So this is a lot of movement under the tower itself, and poor little Clockwork is just going to have to get close enough for some leached XP. Meanwhile, King RD says, I'm done with this, moves away from the top lane, gets his level 2, has yet to invest the second point, and thinks about maybe something at the mid lane, or he's just going to make the long walk across the globe towards the bottom lane to help out there.
Yeah, not finding a kill mid anytime soon. 747 has a haste rune bottled up, so he'll be safe from incoming harassment. Mid is pretty much a wash right now. HFN not really dominating on this sniper as you may have expected based on this matchup. I think some of that goes back to the first blood for Susie and getting a much faster bottle than perhaps HFN is used to. But still able to pressure the lane, and now, ooh, they're going to start to converge on the mid. HFN, this could be a kill on the sniper. Fissure blocks him out. Dewey comes on in. Purification to the face, and, well, 747 pops his haste rune as he secures that kill. That makes it 2-0. Boreal pulling into the lead out of the gate.
HFN just a little too confident, pushing in the mid lane, thinking he gets some easy shots in, but doesn't quite know where the supports are on the Boreal side, and he gets a surprise there in the mid lane. Ends up going down. A beautiful setup there with the Fissure blocking him back. Just good execution from Boreal. They want to say that game 1 was a bit of a fluke as they do a bit of the same here in game number 2 and have a strong head start. 2-0.
Certainly so. Not a huge net worth gain so far. Pain Gaming still farming pretty nicely in these lanes. Void is actually the last hit leader right now, way ahead of that of the Storm Spirit, who's the safe laner for the Dire side. Willows gets harassed as he's pushed back for this 4-minute rune up top. A little skirmish gonna break out. HFN goes in with a Hex on, or pardon me, Juan hexes him up. HFN on the run, but Tavo's nearby trying to do what damage he can, making all the space, but oh, that one last raise clips him. Now Clockwork gets killed. It's a bloody disaster by the Radiant Ancients. A Shadow Fiend picking up a double kill, never what the sniper wants to see. That'll be a 4-0-0 Shadow Fiend in the first 4 minutes.
Another game with 747 getting a strong mid game here, and well, this time it's not going to be a Viper. The person to benefit from it, a Shadow Fiend, probably one of the best ones to have it. A nice 4-0 start, unbelievable. At 4 minutes in, he's 4-0. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that. He is balling out of control right now. Sniper goes down twice. Another setup right there. Earthshaker just kind of being at the ready to be involved. This is your off-lane Shaker, who's already been involved with 3 of the 4 kills. So Boreal definitely making it happen.
But now Pain will strike back with a smoke rotation of their own. Level 3 Witch Doctor even has a point in the Maledict. Let's see what Baga has in store. 2 points in the Ether Shock, 1 in the Shackles. They'll go up to the high ground looking for a wraparound. And maybe they'll bump into the Omni Knight here. Perhaps they can find the Shadow Fiend, but this is a little bit scary. Omni Knight's nearby, has a Repel. That'll end their party pretty damn quick. Here we go. Repel comes out right after the zap, and that's the end of it.
It's these knuckleheads right here. I mean, it's a Shadow Shaman Witch Doctor. Just two crazy guys.
These knuckleheads.
I mean, it's just so funny. 2 Rastafarians.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's like a Doom. It's like a Diablo right here between these two. Moving around, just trying to slay, find some chests or something. An SOJ.
Well, 747 has to go back to the well, but he's going for the fast Yules. Voidstone, Staff of Wizardry in the inventory already. He'll have it at a very good timing here. What's the Void working on? He's the big question mark here for Pain Gaming. Courier flying on down. Oh, those are just boots for Baga. Who knows what the Void's looking for. Still the last hit leader. Aquila, Orb of Venom, and Boots of Speed. Could be an okay game to look towards a Hand of Midas if he wants to turbo farm here. You never know. Maybe we'll see that Battle Fury Void again. Saw that in the last series.
Gotta be careful, HFN. This time they have a ward on their side to see ganks like this. Willie's still gonna connect with the Fissure. Knowing that he has a regen bottle up, is not afraid to spend the extra bit of mana, even to just harass this sniper down a little bit. But look who's turned the corner from the other side. Dewey's going to be able to get a hold of a bounty rune, or at least scout it out for his mid laner. And Shadow Fiend does have a couple of battle charges he can expend and grab it up for himself. So Dewey doing a good job scouting out the runes.
Sniper's going to need some help, though. Look at the CS score. It's 40 on the SF to the 22 on Sniper. Finally finds his level 6, but he is pretty far behind. Ooh, Willa's down bottom. Do they find a kill here? Baga nearby, inside the tree line.
Do they have enough, though? 40R has Chrono. They're hoping that they could use it.
Yeah, he's gone for the slightly more aggressive build as well. 3 points in Time Walk, 2 in the Time Walk.
Nope. Not going to be happening. Baga shows himself in the lane, and Willie's in his patient, disciplined play will pay off as he plays way behind the tower, not giving anything away too easy. So Boreal just continue their clean execution of this mid-game. And you got to remember, there's still Tiburon who's been farming up 38 and 10 CS on your Storm Spirit, and he goes a Soul Ring. Not to, say he's immediately going for the Bloodstone, but definitely something that will be in his future.
Yep. We'll be looking for the fast Orchid, I think. Always the plan for a Storm, depending on how the game unfolds. Number 3 on net worth puts him in a good position overall, splitting out farm by the Void, but if you compare him to the Sniper, it's a slightly different story. The offlane Earthshaker has been pretty successful, though, for Boreal. You mentioned his assist count, but I feel like him not dying and leeching to level 5 is almost the bigger storyline, where he's been able to find that happy medium of staying active, but also leeching a fair bit of XP in the lane.
You compare that to a Clockwork who's 0-2 and 0, hasn't really offered anything except getting caught out a couple of times, is matching his level at 5, almost 6, but mid lane, there's going to be the engagement to jump on the Sniper. He goes down again. That's 3 takedowns of this Sniper in the mid lane.
That
He just
one,
finished his phase.
Not really his fault, though. Invisibility Rune was up on 747, so he had it in the bottle, he popped it and just walked on in.
Didn't have to use a Yules, didn't have to use a Requiem, it looks like.
Yep.
Wow.
So just an easy setup there. I mean, this Sniper is very squishy, very underfarmed. He's just on brown boots, think he's got a couple of Wraith Bands trying to beef up a little. But look at this bottom lane. 40R doing a lot of damage to this tier 1 tower. This farm's still looking good. This is recoverable for Pain, even though this is a very rough start. Boreal is the team that's supposed to have the rough lanes that I was thinking of. You got Earthshaker in one, you've got Omni Knight running around in the jungle. Sniper on paper should be beating the Shadow Fiend mid. Of course, it's the rotations, that early first blood that have tipped the scales, but if this is the team with the rough laning phase doing this well early on, this mid game will be very difficult for Pain Gaming.
Yeah. Because we have yet to really see the Storm Spirit really unleash anything. He's got a big stack. He's going to be able to burst on through with the help of that heal. He'll be able to take it down pretty damn fast, and they just benefit so much from it. Clockwork scouts it out, pops out the rockets, trying to leech in and get his level 6, but they're pulling the cap away from him. He is still so close to getting that hook shot, but that is the turnaround from Pain Gaming. They need Clockwork to get his hook shot together, and they need Faceless Void in this Chronosphere to make something out of it. He is able to finish off his Mask of Madness, so he has some right click to add on top of his Chrono. But is it enough to get them back into this one? They need to at least get themselves on the board.
Well, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Now Void has some solo kill potential if he can catch someone out, especially if there's any kind of follow-up nearby, even just a Maledict or you know, an Ether Shock from this Shadow Shaman. I feel like a lot for Pain Gaming is riding on these supports getting level 6. Shadow Shaman halfway through 4, and the Good Doctor halfway through 5. So they'll have their wards coming out soon, but they can't really fight or push or do much of anything until they get the Death Ward and the Serpent Wards ready to rock. Wow, Shadow Fiend's level 11. Now picks up the Blink Dagger. Yeesh.
Yeah, this is now pretty much a free kill whenever he wants on any sort of lone target, and I bet he's going to be going on the hunt here.
I think actually anyone was a free kill if he hits them with a full Spirit Bomb Requiem after the Yules. Everyone's pretty damn squishy here.
Yeah, they don't have any big meat. The biggest one they got is Tavo, but he is pretty underfarmed at this point. He was able to throw together his level 6 now, and we'll have to see if he puts it to use, because it looks like top lane is where it's going to happen in here. You already have 4DR locked and loaded with this Chrono. It could be on this Lion. Oh!
Whoa, my God.
Whoa.
What an Earth Spike. I think that was just luck.
That was
Well, actually, no, they've got a ward down. That might have been preemptive.
I don't even know. The hook shot also not going to connect.
Tavo.
Man, oh man. Hard to say, but what a play.
Regardless, he gets the play. So even if it's luck, still big ups for that one. Ooh, in the mid lane.
Bit too far. Bit too far between two towers. Possible huge TP rotations.
Look at this. Sniper even goes Quelling Blade here. Getting anything he can for extra auto attack damage to try to find more CS. That is really speaking to how much pressure HFN has found himself under.
He may be laughing with shrapnel, but it's more like a ho ho ha ha.
It's I put a Quelling Blade on my shotgun.
Getting early is hard right now.
Baga, is he gonna get dove down here? Uses the healing salve for good measure. Uh-oh, Spirit Bomb coming out on the Void. 40R, he backtracks it!
God!
Or did he mistime it? I'm not sure which, but he goes in onto Susie. There's your Purification. Fissure to break it up. They'll turn it around, but Death Ward comes out. It's the end of the Shadow Fiend. Huge streak goes to Baga. Now they get the kill on Dewey. 1 for 2. Pain finally get on the board. And it's the Shadow Shaman that makes out like a bandit, ending that unstoppable streak. I want to see the replay of that. I really don't know if that was a mistime on the Shadow Fiend or a really lucky backtrack.
It looked like the timing was good.
Yeah, it seemed like it was right, but I also didn't catch the backtrack
karma
animation.
For top lane when he jumped in and got stunned. He's like, I got to get something going for me.
Yeah, I didn't see the backtrack animation, but to be fair, there's a lot of shit going on the screen right when he would have backtracked, so.
There's the jump.
Mid lane.
Going on forward, Tiburon get a hold of HFN, pulls him back and in the swing of the bat, boom! It's going to be Earthshaker picking up the last hit. Echo Slam catches off, 40R now could be in a bit of trouble here. Will be bullied back and away as he pops his Mask of Madness.
That is risky. TP in with your Mask of Madness on. There's risk of just getting blown up upon arrival. They'll continue to pick on this Sniper, though. Even Sniper's been picked on quite a bit. You look at his net worth, and it's not that bad. Obviously not that good either, but he's holding in there. Not tilting out quite yet. It's definitely good news. Shadow Shaman, now level 8. Blink Dagger, about halfway there. And also Arcane Boots up on King RD. So that exchange in the jungle for the Radiant, even though the supports were the ones getting credit for that kill, that really helped him out. They were starting to fall behind, and now they're up to snuff in terms of level, and it's actually Omni Knight who takes the cake for the lowest level in the game.
That's just Omni Knight things, though. You expect that you're pretty selfless. You're moving around. You don't want to leech XP. You don't want to leech CS. You can't really leech CS. You can't really be in the lane to get CS.
Top lane?
Yep, they make the jump on the Tavo. They'll get the Vortex pull right there with the heal bomb follow-up. Repel on top of that. He gets the hookshot to slow him down. Cogs are not going to be saving him. It ends up being his own grave that he digs.
This Repel is doing a lot of work for the Dire side right now. Without a Repel there, that fight goes completely different. Bog is nearby, can maybe help turn things around. Ooh, is that a ball forward? Yes, it is, under the tower. They're going for it. Tiburon maybe biting off more than he can chew. A bash under the tower for 4DR. Doesn't get much better than that. He drops the Chrono, wants to secure the kill. Now on the backside, King RD, a little ring around the rosy against the hasted Shadow Fiend and Willez, but now Shrapnel raining down. It's about to be a Pain Gaming sandwich. 4DR low on HP. Baga goes down to a Shadow Raise. Time walk away. HFN now left alone. TP in from Tavo, but no hook shot. Can Boreal actually capitalize on this? Shadow Fiend blinks back. He'll leave. Now Willez. He gets brought down by the sniper. HFN lives. And it actually turns out to be a pretty decent fight for Pain Gaming, a 2-for-2, but given they're the ones behind, it's the sniper that makes out like a bandit this go-around with 1,600 gold sitting in the bank.
Bit of a bloodbath there in the top lane, and what was our biggest engagement of the game thus far, and is an opportunity for Pain to come back into this one. They were striding just to finally get themselves on the board up to this point. Now they're able to string together a couple of kills, making it 4-10. Still obviously at the advantage of Boreal. Looking at the net worth, it's still in their favor, 4K plus. But Pain Gaming showing resilience as always. It paid off for them in the last game. This one, they're going to continue to hold strong. Late game, still pretty good for them. They got their sniper who did get a couple of kills there, at least a kill. Yeah, he's 2-4-0. And he can bring in some big right click. And Boreal, they're feeling more pressure to make sure they get the most done out of this point in time. Tiburon and his Storm Spirit, this is when he wants to start making plays. He actually didn't go for the immediate Orchid. He's going right for the Bloodstone.
Okay.
Confidence right there.
Yeah. Hoping that his team can start to snowball a little bit, get those Bloodstone charges going. We'll see a fight break out in the bottom, but it's a 4-on-5. Hook shot's a whiff out of the gate. He gets hexed, purified. There come the wards. Dewey getting blown up. He'll go down, but they lose their Clockwork and Witch Doctor about simultaneously. 747 will be punished. 4DR finds the kill there, and Baga fighting Willez under the wards. He wins the duel. It's a 2-for-3. Pain Gaming take the fight. Again, it was a 4v5. Tiburon was farming that entire time. And it's Pain that really capitalized a 1,500 net worth gain. That is what they needed to start making steps to get back in this game.
It's like a 5-step program, but that's step 1, maybe step 2 underway. So they keep it up like that, and
they kill the Shadow Fiend again,
a rerun.
Really important.
Yeah, this could be a bit of deja vu for Pain Gaming.
So Sniper, what's he working on? He's got the Yasha up now. Maybe something else on the horizon, but still his farming tools coming about. Things shaping up a little more for Pain. Faceless Void, still not really that much coming his way, but there you go. That's a Yasha. So he'll start to farm up as well. Pain, gonna use this momentum. They'll smoke up. Death Ward up in about 10. And the Serpent Ward's down for another 45, but there is a Blink Hex initiation available on the Shadow Shaman. It is also a maxed out Blink. That's 3.5 seconds. Willez locked in place. There's your Shackle to follow up. Chrono on 2. Zip across the Chrono. Death Ward. It's inside the Chrono. No, King RD. Oh, my.
Can someone get this guy the patch notes real quick?
It looked like it was just a misclick. It was right on the edge of the Chrono, but that was a Death Ward wasted. And it ends up being a 1-for-2 disaster in the top.
Good jump from Tiburon to go past the Chrono to catch him from behind right there. And it was a really nice setup of a Chrono there from 4DR to catch both of them and utilizing its big grab. But unfortunately, with the return from Boreal's side, they come out on top. Now they pressure this top lane. They're looking to make a go on this tier 1 tower with 4 in hand. Shouldn't take too much effort here, and there's not really a defense to come from Pain Gaming.
Yeah.
So they pick up a nice big economy boost. After, handing over a couple of fights to Pain's side, they're looking to take the reins back in this game.
It's still relatively even. They're holding, if you look at that gold graph, it's kind of plateaued around that 4K lead. They'll regain some XP. They need to get these objectives, but Boreal's really having trouble running away with this game. As you look at the net worth, and you might think they're starting to, but still unable to really accelerate. BKB on the way for the Shadow Fiend, and that's a Bloodstone complete now on the Storm. Maybe this is where Tiburon starts to get a bit more active himself, as he's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, want to get them charges, boy. Want to get them charges.
Come on, boy.
He'll look to scout it out as it stands for now. 40R going back on his farm tempo here. Has that Yasha still. We'll see if he decides to hold it as a reliable Yasha for now. Takes it to the S&Y path. Manta. I've seen a little bit of everything, but good efficiency there. Clears out the ancient stack just in time for a new one to spawn. He goes right back in and continues to work, bringing in that farm. King RD, he has been holding off on his own farm, allowing Baga to be the one to pick up the Blink Dagger first, but now he's able to bring in farm for himself, and he's about to have his point booster, the first component towards an Agnum Scepter. Okay. And with the exception of that previous Death Ward inside the Chronosphere, I have to say he's been putting down some very nice wards this game.
Most definitely. So things coming together for Pain, and the other thing is that even though Boreal are winning right now in terms of farm and hero kills, they're not taking objectives that aggressively. They've only killed 2 tier 1 towers, and that's the same that Pain have taken out. And Pain's real power, I feel, is in high ground defense. The sniper gets bigger as your Void gets closer to critical mass. And if you get a... Oh, there's a fight breaking out up top. Shadow Shaman goes down. Tiburon now locked in the Chrono. Could this be the turnaround fight? The Death Ward channeling again inside of the Chrono. That's unfortunate. Looks like it'll just be a quick pick on the Shadow Shaman.
Very awkward engagement breaking out there at the top lane. Did he put... So he put the ward again in the Chronosphere? Is that what you said?
I think this time the Chrono came down on top of the Death Ward. I turned to it a little bit late, but there was a... I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but there was another Chrono and Death Ward match not made in heaven.
All right, well, hopefully they look to bring that together here. They end up losing one. They can't follow it up with a return kill themselves, and switching over to the net worth, no surprise to see Shadow Fiend still holding crown there at the top. 12.5k. Just behind him, it's going to be your sniper. 9.5k as he ho-ho-ha-has himself back into farm territory. S&Y, Mask of Madness in hand. Once they're able to drop that big bubble, you got 2 right-clickers with Mask of Madness at the ready to make the best of it. But it comes down to getting that opportunity to set it on up. Meanwhile, Boreal are going to take this opportunity to move into the Roche Pit, get the party started there. But the right click pretty much just comes from 747, and it's going to be a bit of a long process, even with that minus armor. You could see already scouted out Pain, shoot in the rocket from their clockwork and know exactly what is going on.
Yeah, even with the minus armor, still very slow going here. Great spread from Boreal, though. Willez with that Blink Dagger ready to hop in. Juan as well on the Lion. Yeah, I think Pain just let this one go. They're not really in a position to contest. 40R nearby, thinking about it, counting his blessings. They don't have any vision, completely blind.
He could hookshot. Hookshot snap? No.
No, that's the right play. Now the hookshot goes in. On to Dewey. They'll try to bring him down before GA, and they will. Tiburon goes zipping on out. Finger drops the sniper in a matter of seconds. Now Tavo on the run. 40R nearby. Chrono coming up in about 3 seconds. Think Tavo might be dead meat, but the Void can still make it out. They use Shadow Shaman Ward to that top tier 1 tower while this is going on. They'll finish it off. Tavo locked in place, and now 40R just finds a cute little spot in the tree line here. And he'll stay safe.
Well, big ups right there for Boreal, able to secure the Roche and win the fight thereafter. And it looked like Pain just thought there was going to be a quick opportunity to get to jump in, take out the Omni Knight, and be able to get away, but that's not the case. Schwan there still has his Blink Dagger on Lion. He's able to get the quick jump in return, blast him with the finger, and they're the ones that end up getting a big couple of kills, even taking down the sniper here. Boreal now at a 17-9 kill advantage and a net worth lead that's finally gotten past that plateau point at about 4k and now begins to dig deeper into their favor, about 5k plus.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend getting bigger and badder, now level 16, BKB up, and another 2,500 gold to play around with. Storm Spirit, probably a Lincoln's on the horizon for him with that Perseverance in tow, and of course that Aegis of the Immortal. Yeah, Pain getting a tier 1 tower for all of that, just not quite worth it. Although, now the second piece, that Aghanims on the Witch Doctor comes out. I feel like the Witch Doctor Aghanims could be a potential game changer in this match.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely could.
On top of the Chrono.
Yeah, as long as it's not inside a Chronosphere.
As long as it's right next to it. That's your key
damage
there.
But then again, you got Dewey over here with a Guardian Angel. As long as he's able to get it off, shut down your pesky Death Ward.
Oh, Baga. He's going to walk right into the trap. He's on the low ground. They're scouting him out. They've caught his scent. Willez comes in.
Oh!
They whiff it.
Quick blink. Maybe should have led in with the fissure to secure it, but he wanted to enchant Totem first, and with that, he had enough time to scout out what was going on.
Now 40 are on the high ground. Big Chrono opportunity here. And nope, they won't go for it. Well, I pulled a Merlini there.
It's okay.
My bad.
The hype could have been real, but they don't want to take that fight. Boreal get their tower.
Dewey gets a very aggressive ward down here, walks through that little cubby in the trees, and gets some decent intel on where Pain might be. Like, Pain are all spread around the map. They might let this tier 2 tower in the mid lane fall. They're just busy farming. Tavo's down bottom. They've got 3 up top. They won't even make it to this tier 2 before their tier 2 mid falls.
Well, it just looks like they're going to sacrifice it.
All right, they just want to hold towards the high ground.
You know, this is not a time to fight. They don't feel comfortable and ready. They don't want to risk it. So they lose their biscuit.
Yeah, they lost the biscuit indeed up top. Whoa, 40R. Does Tiburon go for it? Nope, can't find vision of him. Doesn't have the mana pool. Aegis, will it expire? Nope. I was thinking it might give him that regen rune effect, but still has 2 minutes on it. You know, I think that was the right play from Pain to not defend that tier 2 mid.
Okay.
A hard tower to defend, and, well, like I said, they're really powerful in their high ground defense. You take a bad fight right there, you trade like a 3-for-1.
Yeah.
It just furthers Boreal's onslaught. But, you know, get as much farm as you can out of the lanes, count your blessings, and as long as you've got your racks in tow, you still got a chance.
They got terrific defense. I mean, they just know that that's going to be their time to shine. If they got to do what they did in last game, then so be it. They got Death Ward, they got Chrono at their will. Sniper can obviously find a better position inside his own base, given he's not jumped on. And, well, even with wards in tow from your Shadow Shaman, they got to feel pretty confident
Bottom
that when
lane
it comes top. But, bottom lane is
shot.
what the action is. They get 747 down. Pain Gaming.
Smoke wraparound.
Get a good isolation play right there. Good setup.
All right.
That's a big target to take down, and with that, just that Shadow Fiend pick off alone, that's like a 1,400 gold swing.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Big pick indeed. Smoke wrap around, easy hook shot, then the follow-up was there, but now Dewey, he's smoked up. They want vengeance for their fallen comrade. Tavo, the one initiated on, he gets hexed, fingered, brought down in a matter of seconds. The ball lightning across, all the TP's out. Will they make it? Baga 40R. They TP home, and it ends up being a clockwork for Shadow Fiend trade. Not the clean kill they were hoping for, but obvious advantage for the Radiant.
Nice little classy jump, stack, and scout the rune. That efficiency from 40R, man. Got to give credit to the small little things right there, but they are still down quite a bit. They were able to get the good pick on Shadow Fiend, but they lose their clock thereafter. Still a trade that they're going to be happy with at this point, but still not looking to really make any sort of big offensive plays unless the opportunity does present itself like it did there on bottom. They're not looking to engage as a 5-man unit quite yet. Long jump. I can't even catch up with it. A Storm Spirit goes right on to King RD and gets the catch. They're scouted out and set up from Will Eves. Beautifully done from Boreal as they knock out the support.
Yeah, nice catch there. Now he zips forward again, looks for 4DR.
Oh, he wants the courier. He's going to get it. Boom.
All right. No cargo, but it's a dead Jade Hoof.
Sorry, Jade Hoof.
Or Jade Horn, rather. Jesus. It's got horns, not hooves.
Isn't there a Jade Hoof, though?
There probably is a Jade Hoof.
It's like the donkey one or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too many damn couriers. I can't keep them all straight.
You got to know the hats.
Yeah. 4 stabs coming aplenty. Boreal still in control of this game. They're slowly inching this gold lead more and more into their favor. Sniper. What's he got? Okay, Maelstrom now to go with the S&Y Mask of Madness.
Still no escape mechanism, and if he doesn't have help nearby, he can't confidently move in a lane by himself. So he can get caught, jumped on by Storm Spirit, and taken care of. Storm Spirit repelled up, just in case Sniper was to keep pushing that bottom lane. Could have been a bit of trouble right here. So they ping it out, they see Storm Spirit show himself. HFN knows he made the right call to kind of sidestep, go through the jungle, find farm there, and just kind of keep himself in the dark. It's a scary, scary world out there.
Look at these wards, though, from the Radiant. You got one in the mid here, a lane ward there. Then you've got 2 very aggressive wards in the middle of the jungle. Soon to expire, but it looks like Pain want to try to bring this back by finding some ganks of their own, utilizing this Chronosphere. They are smoked up right now, but they'll be forced to retreat as they are at a numbers disadvantage. Pain at least looking for opportunities here, but they're coming pretty infrequently. Clockwork looking towards an Aghanim Scepter, a little more than halfway there. Other item progression on the Radiant side. King RD, same story, a couple S and Ys. Not much to note, but now you've got a Linken's on the Storm, and that's an Eagle Song coming out on the Shadow Fiend. He's just about to have a completed Butterfly. Oh, mama.
Yeah. The rich keep getting richer. Is pretty much what it comes down to for Boreal for now, unless
good old capitalism.
Pain is able to kind of turn things around a bit. They got to play patient and slow for now, though. Boreal looking maybe to do a bit of the same here. Could afford to wait a few more moments to see maybe what Roche could be up to, but there's going to be the jump on bottom. Tavo, hookshot's not going to be there, and he gets just taken care of. Thrown out with the trash right there in the bottom lane.
He gets put to bed. That was unfortunate. Even if he had connected with that hook shot, not really much he could have done there, but still, tough for the Clockwork. Boreal just with superior movements right now. They seem to consistently have this numbers advantage while Pain are trying to farm. They're moving around and looking for pickoffs aplenty. This Shadow Fiend is still just so massive, and they don't have a great way to deal with him. Chronosphere no longer disables that evasion. Void either needs an MKB or an Aghanims, and instead he's looking at a Diffusal Blade.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Diffusal obviously for your Omni Knight. But you're just diffusing off a Guardian Angel or a Repel to start striking a unit who has a good evasive property here with your Butterfly.
I mean, it's still a potentially game-changing item. You lock the Storm down, GA comes out, you can quickly diffuse him and still maybe find a kill where you otherwise wouldn't have. So I don't think it's a bad pickup from the Void. It's more just in context of how farmed the Shadow Fiend is. They'll have this window where they have nothing to deal with him except the Shadow Shaman Hex. So I guess you could say a lot on the back of Baga to find some Hex initiation on this Shadow Fiend and maybe give his team a chance of bringing him down. 10-second BKB also on the Shadow Fiend. He hasn't even had to use it in these fights.
Yeah. Been pretty passive from both sides at this point. Just pretty similar to what we saw in the last game. There's a moment in the mid-game where things get pretty hectic. Then one team seems to come out on top. They feel confident. They go back. They itemize, take themselves further. The other team, they know they're on the weaker end of things. They can't afford to take fights. They got to wait. Maybe push it to later in the game when they can dish out a solid executed high ground defense. And then from their rubber band and advantage snap, they can take the game right back. It's a bit of a deja vu, but I feel like this time Boreal, with their comfortable lead, they have a better draft to back it up.
Yeah. Surprisingly passive mid-game here, though. 20-10, 30 minutes in. Both teams just farming away. Omni Knight moving in towards his Aghanims. Point booster up. Still pretty far away, but making progress. Storm also has 14 Bloodstone charges. So in this next fight, even if they manage to kill the Storm, he's coming on back pretty damn quick. He did pick up a Void Stone, sold it back, maybe thinking about the Hex, but we'll keep pooling his gold for now.
We'll see here, Boreal advancing on this mid lane, but Sniper just keeps himself in reserve, slowly shrapnels, and you can see by Boreal quickly to force back, blink out, and get away.
He shrapnels. Is that the verb form of shrapnel? The shrapnels?
So the shrapnels, I hope. I guess I didn't. Oh, jump top lane. King RD. Is there mana for the pull? There is, right there at the end. He's able to get it off. Thank you very much, based regen from Blood.
Buddy buys his Ags before he dies. That's the key thing here for Witch Doctor. Very aggressive positioning, but it was all worth it. Now you've got this big upgraded ultimate that was not revealed, that has not been revealed yet.
Okay, hold on a second here. I got some real knuckleheads here. Okay.
Alright, Dewey, whoa, he'll get caught out. They hold the Chrono for now. There's a fissure to break it up, but Assassinate is there. That'll be the end of the Omni. Now Will has caught inside, but whoa, he hops out. Now Chrono comes out. Baga will get left behind. Susie stuck inside of the Chrono, but they don't have the damage. There's the Hex onto 40R. He takes the finger. He's alive for now. They'll go back to fighting. Maybe Juan will be the target. No, they want Susie Q, and it's going to be Tombo that secures it with the power cogs. It's a 2 for 3. Boreal not getting the fight that they wanted. Tiburon, he is out. Oh, mana. Locked in place, bashed down, and he's dead. It's Pain Gaming striking back with a vengeance.
Here we go again. Pain Gaming find their window, and they jump through it without a parachute. They don't care. They get it, and they go. HFN finds his position on the Sniper and gets the opportunity to unleash his fury in a very awkward get up here by the Roach Pit. Boreal will just caught all out of place. The focus was there on the side of Pain Gaming, and their disciplined play pays off.
Phew. Phew. Wow. You know, somebody just tweeted at me, Dakota, with a picture of that first Death Ward Chronosphere. It was actually outside of the Chrono, but he was GA'd. We done fucked up, man.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry I didn't see that brief glimmer of a moment.
Didn't see the GA, but I will shout out to whoever that was on Twitter, whatever your name is. Well done. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yep,
I concede to you, sir. You were correct. I was mistaken.
Nothing makes my day than after finishing a cast and seeing all my tweets of everyone correcting me. It just makes it so good. Hey, sounds off.
That one, though, I will.
Off. Oh.
That one I will concede, though, because that was just some caster blinders there. That one we probably should have caught.
You know, I should be able to see everything clearly, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, King RD, keep it up, buddy. Keep those death wards right on the side of the Chronos. That's what you need. And we didn't get to see the big upgraded Death Ward in that last fight, but Boreal moving to Roshan. It gets scouted out by the Rocket Flare, but I think too little, too late. Boreal bringing it down quick, and they will not be able to get here to contest.
Easy grab, easy Aegis. I feel like this is pretty much what happened last time. Pain Gaming just knew that it wasn't their time to fight. This is not what they want to do. Uh-oh, long jump. They might have to do it, though. Jump in, jump back, jump over. They're able to get a hold of Baga here. Zipping in and out, going all over the place. Tiburon, though, could have gone too far and will have. He's going to get welcome from the Chrono. A mini Ravage coming out from Juan as he gets the nice two-man impale and the dunk follow-up. 40er is going to get the hell out of there, but can he make it out? HFN looks to interject, and he gets assaulted and taken down. Oh, narrow escape right there.
Fissure missed.
From 40R.
Right,
my goodness.
A 1 for 3 this go around, maybe a 1 for 4. Tavo, he's out of mana now, and wow, a disastrous fight for Pain. And like you were mentioning, now it just goes right back the other way. Boreal have a pretty big window here. Buyback status for Pain is pretty grim. Sniper's got it. Everyone else is stuck in the grave.
Well, they gotta make their way to the high ground. No tier 2 to even have to move past here.
And no Chronosphere.
Oof. This is going to be rough. Boreal again moving into the base. We saw it last game. They were able to get a mid set of racks, but that didn't stop Pain Gaming. So they'll look to hold on here. Glyph's going to be popped now as the back end of this tier 3 should go down. Slowly they come back one by one. Baga's going to be here now. King RD back, moves forward. Coconut going to be thrown, but gets caught with the blink and fissure. Now jumping in from the back lines. It's going to be Tiburon. Gets the grab. Vortex.
Oh, the Hex.
But he heals up. The quick Hex coming out from the Shadow Shaman is going to keep his buddy Witch Doctor alive. Rastafarians for life. As they get to walk away happy and alive and well, but their base will take damage.
They saved the buyback on Sniper. At this stage of the game, they think the mid lane of Rax is less valuable than Sniper's buyback. So they'll save his money. They will concede this mid. And now the real grind for Pain Gaming begins. The biggest gold lead we've seen this game, about 10,000 going in favor of Boreal. They're holding on to that 5,000 experience edge. It's not over for Pain, but they're running out of options here. They need to make some big team fights happen soon. They need that perfect Chrono Death Ward combo. Really make it happen.
Will we see the Wombo combo, though? It's one of the dark horses here for Pain Gaming to ride into victory land, but Boreal not having any of it. Yule's now going to be complete on your Earthshaker after completing his Blink and Force Staff. Definitely works good against your Faceless Void. And your Faceless Void, whose BKB is still at a fresh 10 seconds, though.
Okay, I think he just picked it up at the end of that last fight. So
it's a Yule's for a BKB'd 40R, but that BKB doesn't last forever.
Well, there is another big item pickup here on the Dire side this go around. 2 of them, actually. Satanic, right around the corner for the Shadow Fiend. Actually has enough gold for it now. Still with that Aegis of the Immortal in tow, but it's Dewey here on the Omni Knight. That's an Aghanim Scepter. So now you get that global Guardian Angel, you get that second glyph.
Came out of nowhere.
Yep, and it buffs up that duration a little bit by an extra 2 seconds. At level 2, it's 9 seconds of protection from the Guardian Angel.
That is so good to have. I mean, I've played Omni Knight, and you really need to be in the heat of the battle to get off a good Guardian Angel. And usually you're sacrificing a lot in the early game, and you're just pretty weak. Thankfully, Omni Knight has a pretty good strength gain and can just naturally have a high health pool. But you really need to be in the firefight and at the right time to dish out a Guardian Angel. Now, you don't have to worry about that. You just kind of do it like your Silencer style and just know wherever you are, you're going to be able to commit with a Guardian at the moment's notice the second you hit that R button.
Well, it looks like Boreal have had enough of this game, Dakota. They're all grouped up in the bottom lane. They want to get another lane of barracks sooner rather than later, deliver this killing blow before Pain Gaming have any chance to get more farm going their carry's way. Maybe recognizing some respect that Void can really give you a run for your money towards that late game. Looking towards the Aegis here, they'll have less than a minute left, about 50 seconds before she expires. So they'll try to make the most of it with this Shadow Fiend, just lobbing auto attacks on the high ground. Gets the tower down to about half health. Here's the long-range zip.
They get a hold of Sniper. Can they save him? Guardian Angel comes out a bit early, and on the backside, you see the Chrono going to lock in place. Willies are going to look to take him down. Earthshaker gets dropped.
There's your Death Ward.
But now the Death Ward going to be going down. Shadow Fiend unleashes the Requiem, but no one's dropped on Pain Gaming. They're holding down the fort.
They've used their big cooldowns now. Tiburon forced the zip back. He's got the repel on. 40R hopping out of the base, looking to do as much damage as he can. Assassinate from Sniper comes out just a little bit too early. Tiburon with a little bit left.
Oh.
What a stun from Juan, but is the follow-up there? The sustain from this Witch Doctor doing so much work. Sniper gets one. Storm commits suicide. Now Susie caught inside of the Stretch Armstrong shackles. It's just him and Dewey. Soon to be a 5-hero wipe. A 5 for nil at that. The Shadow Fiend blinks back, but it's to no avail. The Swagger Fiend goes down. It's Pain Gaming striking right back here, Dakota.
Oh, man.
Look at that net worth trade. Nearly 6,000 going their way. All of a sudden, we've got a game on our hands. Pain Gaming level things out.
So confident in their defense, and you could feel it and you could sense it. They were willing to sacrifice even a mid-lane set of racks just so that the stars could align, and they would have everyone at the ready in prime position to make a mounted comeback like that. This is looking a lot like rinse and repeat from the last game. Boreal have a huge commanding lead. They even take a set of racks, but then when they try to go for the second set, things begin to crumble, and it's Pain Gaming who come out on top. And this is going in the right direction for the Pain Gaming run back. Can they do it again, though?
They still have a long way to go. That's the exact question we need to be asking ourselves. They got so much out of that, though. We'll see this round of items completed. Sniper now gets a Scotty, has another 1,500 gold to play around with. The Shadow Shaman looking towards an Aghanim, so just one piece away. The Void is 3,000 gold all of a sudden. He can start looking towards that MKB, some sort of other big hard-hitting item, maybe even just a Daedalus at this point. I think the Aghanims is still something to consider. Reducing that ulti cooldown from 100 to 60 and having a way to deal with that Shadow Fiend more effectively, I think a worthy investment, but maybe they feel like they need some more damage. Time will tell.
Just such an awkward initiation from Boreal. You could just feel the pressure as Storm is like, I see Sniper, I need to go on Sniper. And he just makes the jump. They even put the Guardian Angel behind him, but...
And the repel. He was repelled when he hopped in. He had the best of both worlds.
But 40R, man, he moves on forward, he chronos and locks everyone else from Boreal outside the gates and locks them there. And they just are able to focus fire down that Storm Spirit, and things begin to work so well. HFN is able to break free from that Storm and then just turns things around and just begins to pull out the shots.
Oh, another long-range zip as they take out this ward. Tiburon needs to be a little careful. That was a pretty dangerous play. You're zipping into darkness. I mean, you know there's heroes nearby. I guess you're assuming they're not going to walk forward, but oof, really playing with fire. He's down to 4 Bloodstone charges now after that last suicide. Looks like Hex will be his next item of choice. Only a Void Stone away. Another big item for the Dire. This game could go on a good while longer, though. I think after that failed attempt, Boreal will sit back and look for the golden opportunity before they try that one again.
What is the golden opportunity? You're looking at Susie here. Look how much farm this Shadow Fiend has, for God's sake. Satanic, BKB, Butterfly Yules. Pretty much fully 6-slotted at the point where you just start trading out some of these weaker items for maybe luxurious ones.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you got your Storm Spirit
though?
trying to get a Sheep Stick to help out.
If you're the Shadow Fiend, where do you improve? You need the Satanic Butterfly, obviously. BOTs, they're not moving. That leaves you with 3 BKB, pretty damn core. So now you're down to the Yule's Blink Dagger.
I think you ditch the Yules and bring in more damage.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I'm not seeing any other opportunities where he's getting, what, Yules into Requiem?
Yeah,
that's not happening.
I guess that window is pretty much done past.
I think you got to get rid of the Yules. And
so what do you look
in,
at here? Just a Scotty, go for the crit? Maybe one of those two, the 2 big ones?
Scotty. I mean, I don't see a Butterfly yet on the Radiant side, so MKB is not big.
Yeah, I think if you want to go damage, Daedalus is better than MKB at this point since he hits so hard.
Then you look at it from the other side, and Yules isn't too bad to have. I mean, it helps against a Faceless Void, but Void still has lots of time on this BKB. 9 seconds still to work with. That's plenty of time to get the job done. Boy,
3,600 gold on the Void.
They better make some big decisions. They do not want to do what happened in the last game.
They do not want to fail again. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for
right
sure.
here. You do not want to lose this game like you did the last one. John Madden Football Dota happening right here.
Yeah. All right, I think they're going to go for the Roshan here. He's coming up in 30 seconds. Now, the Roshan gives you the Aegis, and it brings you back to life.
Yeah, when you die once, if you have an Aegis, you come back again.
Well, only about 40 seconds till that Aegis will come into question and could be a focal point for this match. This is Roche number 3, if my math is right, so that's some yummy Gouda, and I think Pain can actually stand to contest it this time. They've got the experience lead, Gold Graph meaningless at this point. They've got their ults available. No reason they cannot make something happen at Roche. They've got the Rocket Flare, scouts it out. I think they saw the Storm kind of walking by, but they do get the intel that Roche is down. Will Roche spawn while they still have vision? It's going to be a close one. Nope, he comes up about 3 seconds after they lose vision. How
Boreal
unfortunate.
sees it, though. They got a Storm Spirit illusion in here, scouting things out.
This is a little scary. Now Boreal, they'll have this window where they could go in and try and flash push the Roche before Rocket Flare comes in next. All right, they're not gonna try anything that fancy.
So here we are. It's Pain Gaming up 1 match after pulling out a pretty big turnaround in game number 1 against Boreal, who had the early game advantage. Now we're back again. Mid lane taken down on the side of Pain Gaming, but after a huge defense and a 5-man wipe without losing anyone, Pain Gaming show that they are right back into the mix, and they are on match point reminder. That means they win this one. They have secured their spot into phase number 2 of the Summit 3 Boreal. If they lose this one, they are done. No more Summit 3 dreams going to be happening here. Just nightmares of going back to the next tournament and going back to the drawing board.
Somebody's dreams are getting shattered tonight, Dakota. Roche attempted by the Shadow Fiend, but Rocket Flare scouts it out. He backs out right away. 2 big items have been picked up since the last fight. The Hex on Tiburon Storm and the BKB on this Sniper. So now magic immunity for HFN. He's already been able to stand his ground pretty effectively. 2,600 HP. This Sniper is no slouch.
They want Susie, but are they baiting Susie in front?
It looks like it, but there could be a wraparound. Tavo, oh, he scouts out the whole team. They almost jump on him. Now the fight breaks out. Susie hit by the wards, double wards, but it gets interrupted right away by the Hex. Baga very low, but getting his wards down is all he needs to do. They blow up the Shadow Shaman. Now 40R goes on to Susie. Oh, the Satanic is there. He's a life-stealing madman. Now the Chronosphere comes out. Wards on the side. Juan on the outside. 40R. It's not the Chrono they needed. Pain Gaming getting completely cleaned up. It'll be a 5-0 the other way. What a clunky team fight from Pain. They saved the Chrono for the end when the fight's already basically over.
Ugh. Not what they wanted. They thought that they had a good opportunity to open up onto the Shadow Fiend, but Boreal were waiting in the wings, and when the jump happens, they just jump thereafter. And
but they have 4 buybacks.
4 buybacks.
So maybe
have to be used.
Maybe, just maybe, all the ultis on cooldown on both sides except the finger.
No Sniper, no Chrono.
Oh, they don't have the Sniper buyback. I thought they did. He was really close. Okay. No, he's...
You know,
Wow.
he's 1,400. Okay. He must have just bought or something. He's out. He's out for
he's
good.
out.
Boreal are going to be taking
colorblind.
a second set of racks. This actually could be the game.
There is a glyph for the Radiant. Do they even bother using it here? No. Okay.
Boom.
That's it.
Damage has been done. 2 sets of racks. It's Boreal up and ahead. They're feeling confident about taking this to a game number 3. They promptly TP out, stop any sort of early aggression on this top lane. They scout out the Roche being up, and they probably want to take care of that on the way out, and they do. 747 moves into the pit, and now they're going to have an Aegis on their side. A lot of confidence for them going into what could be the last hurrah, the top lane, where they need to break through a tier 2 along the way, and Pain Gaming need to start formulating a game plan for another big high ground defense.
They just have to work together. That last fight, you had Tavo on the Clockwork kind of wrapping around through the river, realized, oh, wow, there's a lot of heroes there. So the Clockwork wasn't really ready to fight. The Shadow Shaman got his wards down, then got completely blown up, and Void was just spending that whole fight running around trying to figure out the right way to use his Chronosphere. It needs to be Pain that take the initiation. They need to get the jump. They need a good Chrono on at least 2 or 3 heroes with the wards still available on the outside. They can't afford to have King RD's ultimate just interrupted straight away as it was in the last fight. It's one of their key pieces of damage.
Shadow Fiend does indeed sell out that Yules and gets the Scotty.
Okay.
Yules gaming is over, and he's got 3.1k life. He is a beast.
The Satanic completely saved him in that last fight. Void tried to go man mode, and he's like, okay, you almost got me. Oh, just kidding.
Void couldn't even use his defusal in that last fight either. I was keeping an eye on it, but he was just stuck going toe-to-toe with a Shadow Fiend who was BKB'd. And, well, he was not there to help out the rest of his team. And we could have seen something happen very different, but here we go.
Tier 2, standing between Boreal and the base. They've got the Aegis on the Storm. Cheese goes the way of Lion. He's also their gem carrier.
They're happy to kind of dangle 747 out the front and just kind of wait to see if anyone's going to come in thereafter. Also, Tiburon could feel pretty confident about making a jump this time with Aegis in hand. Doesn't have to worry about a whole lot, but the Tier 1, no surprise, going to be taken down without anyone looking to defend. Pain Gaming in position and at the ready. This is everything they could want for in a final defense. They got Chrono up. Sniper's going to be there waiting him back. Boreal, what are they going to do to kind of break through this fortress?
All right, Pain, this is you, the hold you have to make. At least they've got some good lane control in mid and bottom, so they don't have to worry about that for at least another minute. Mid will, I take that back, bottom. Mid will push in as their mid lane of creeps get cleared out, and now they've got to defend on two fronts. Their Tier 4 is not looking very healthy.
I mean, a jump in from Storm Spirit. They got the Global Guardian Angel.
Well,
as long as they don't get caught in a huge Chronosphere and allow HFN to kind of unleash huge damage side by side with Void, this should be an easy game to wrap up for Boreal.
It really should. It would be a throw of epic proportions to lose it at this point.
Look at this graph. It's like a sonic wave having to go down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, as the swings just get bigger and bigger, and yeah, interesting frequency here. Assassination out on a Shadow Fiend. Nothing that can't be cured by a quick purification to the face. Omni Knight's working on a refresher also. Perseverance in tow.
Even if they're able to put up a strong defense, you have plenty of Boreal who have buybacks at the ready hereafter. So it's not just taking them down once. They need to defend, take them down, and then push and take them down again. Jumping coming out from Tavo. Gets 747 isolated and then quickly forces himself out and away with a jump forward. Now they pull out the Guardian Angel to catch HFN on the back lines. Finger's going to be there, but Sniper's still good. But I say that as Tiburon's able to jump in. They're able to finish off the Witch Doctor. Now they turn on to Susie. There's going to be the Chronosphere catching down Dewey as well as the Shadow Fiend. They're able to finish him off. Tiburon gets caught down next. HFN, this is all he wanted. The right clicks come out. Dewey's going to be going down next. And now Willie's will be thereafter as they move on
Tiburon
forward.
Hexed. He comes back from the Aegis. It's another 5-hero wipe the other way. What is happening in this game, Dakota? Boreal, at first I thought it was so smart. You've got the Storm Spirit diving in deep. He's got the Global Omni ulti, focusing on King RD. His whole job at the beginning of that fight was make fuck on that Witch Doctor. Make sure he doesn't ult, and if he does, interrupt it. He kills him before he ults, but then the Chrono comes out, and Boreal just evaporates. Storm dies, he comes back to life, and they're ready and waiting for it. There's a chicken hex right there, and Pain Gaming, hold on. Barely, but they do.
Like I said, though, you could take them down once with a strong defense, but they're all going to have buyback at the ready. So now it's move forward, force out those buybacks at least, and then walk back and probably wait it out again for another defense. We could be in store for another at least 10 minutes of this game. I mean, I imagine Boreal, if they're pressured to buy back, they'll do so, and then probably stall out and wait for the Roche.
Oh, they can't even.
A bit of their own discipline, Dota, but yeah, they can't even pressure forward and get the buybacks out at least.
They just don't push fast enough. They get a Tier 2 tower, but that's just so minor compared to the damage that has befallen their base. They lost both of their Tier 4s in that fight. So for Boreal, they can basically just do that again, and creeps will win them the game just from pushing in mid and bottom. Pain are now in that situation where they just don't have enough resources. You can't defend the creeps and also win a team fight and then counter push at the same time. It's just too difficult. So even though this game goes on a bit longer, it's still Boreal's to take, I do believe.
I'm curious if Pain are just going to wait again for another high ground defense and an opportunity like that, or if they want to do something funky, pull out a smoke and try to catch Boreal with their pants down. Maybe make a contention at the Roche pit. I don't know.
Buyback's cooling down for Pain. I think if you're Pain at this point, you 5-man smoke, take a risk, and try and jump them. You know you can win a team fight. If they can find the perfect initiation, they can do it. But I don't think another fight like that is their way of winning, coming back in this game, just because they have no margin for error at this point.
Look at this XP graph, man. How
is
many
one of
times
the
have
most
games been turned around?
This is one of the most back and forth games I think you and I have cast together
Yeah.
for sure. In terms of like how many 5-man wipes there have been back to back on different sides of the coin. It's pretty ridiculous.
Just crazy. Boreal's still pretty confident though. They didn't have to expend any of their buyback purse, so they hold on to their second lives for now. Unless they they could though stall out, wait for Roche, itemize, and still have enough time to farm up for their buyback if they want. It looks like Omni Knight would love to get a refresher orb. I mean, could you imagine double Global Guardian Angel? That would definitely help things out quite a bit. But he's a ways off from even getting that finished. Unless he has an Oblivion Staff hidden somewhere. No. Kind of. Oh, well, he actually has a recipe.
Oh, that's a
mask
refresher.
and a quarter. Yeah, he's got it done.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's a refresher Omni Knight. Okay.
Refresher ags at that. That's now 20 seconds of Guardian Angel duration. He's got the mana pool for it too.
There is a diffusal blade still in 40R, but that is just but one diffusal blade.
Yeah, he's got 2 charges left, so 2 Omnis, 2 charges, I guess, is where he's at this point. Looks like Void tuckering in for a potential refresher orb of his own. There it is. Refreshers coming out back to back. Okay, Pain, their cooldowns have, or pardon me, their buybacks have cooled down. God, what are the chances that they can turn this game around? I feel like they're so slim. This is like a 95-5 type deal.
Yeah, this is not the same game as the first one. I mean, this time Boreal definitely have big heroes that can definitely work well in the late game. I mean, even your support Omni Knight at this point is pretty damn good.
One thing that is for sure, though, Dakota, these teams are pretty evenly matched.
Well, that's what we expected. Dota 2 Lounge even had this at a coin flip's chance. I certainly thought that this could have been anyone's game, and the players are playing like it could have been anyone's game. But these are teams that have also made some big upsets along the way to get to this point in the qualifier. So,
yeah.
Feels well deserved from both sides.
We'll see what the timer is on Roche. Maybe it'll be a quick one and somebody can just sneak in and grab it right quick. Nope, it's a long one. About 2.5 minutes. Wow,
Yeesh.
Close to the max.
Who does that really work for? It's probably the benefit of
sure.
Pain Gaming.
Honestly, everyone's so low on inventory slots. I guess it is good for Pain since Storm still has a slot for that next Aegis. But the Aegis cheese did not seem to make a difference in that last fight. They were both utilized, and, well, we know how that one went. 1 for 5. In favor of the team that didn't have the Aegis cheese, so...
Refresher Orb, Faceless Void.
He's ready to rock, dude.
Do you have the mana to do it? Oh, I guess he does.
Yeah, he does.
1131. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, with the
3,
diffusal,
6,
with
975. He'll be able to get two big chronos off.
It's really close, but he's got just enough for it. They've got some arcane boots, though. 2 sets.
Is it enough? That's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm. All right, Boreal. They're starting to move around. I think they want Roche. I think that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah. It's the safe play. It's the disciplined play. It's the play we expect. Wait for the clock to tick. Wait for the Roche to come back so you can just beat his ass real quick. Take his Aegis away. Take his cheese. Raid his fridge.
Yeah.
Schwan, at least being the nice guy, cleans up the TP litter in the Roche apartment as he waits and scouts. He'll be waiting for another minute, though, before it does pop up. Pain Gaming just go on tower defense duty here, playing that old mini game.
For Boreal, they know that this Roche is theirs. Pain have their hands full just fending off their base. Looking at current gold, this is the stage of the game where that tab becomes actually a little bit interesting. Shadow Fiend about to break 5 figures of savings. The Sniper up to about 8,000 himself. The Shadow Fiend just has nowhere to go. I mean, I just don't think you can dump any of these items. Maybe the Blink Dagger if you want to be the big right clicker.
So you go the 7th slot refresher.
Yeah.
Just swap it in, refresh BKB, swap it back out.
Get your own courier, start buying some sentry wards for your team. And there's nowhere to spend this money.
Could have just bought a courier to scout out the Roche for them. Instead of having Lion do it.
That's a way to spend some of that money, I guess. You buy a Bloodstone. Yeah, I don't know. No easy way to spend that money at this point. Tiburon on the Storm still has a long ways to go, though. He's got about 6,000 gold. He picks up an Ogre Club. Looks like BKB will be his next grab. He desperately needs it, too. That last fight, he got locked down hard, and BKB will be his saving grace. Roche up in about a couple seconds, and I don't see any reason why Boreal shouldn't be able to just grab it. I don't think Pain can contest, even if they had visual confirmation.
I wonder if Pain anyone is able to throw together a rapier is like one of the few things I could see. But even Sniper with rapier is a bit of a risk. See him going elsewhere first, whether MKB, Daedalus, or something else before going into that kind of territory.
If this was a Medusa, this would be... There would have been a rapier 10 minutes ago, but... Yeah, I don't know. It just feels too risky. He goes the MKB. That's a much more safe bet. And gives you a way, of course, to deal with that Shadow Fiend's evasion.
Well, they're just hoping someone's going to show themselves top lane so they can make a surprise attack, but no one's going to be there. Showing Sniper inside the base as if he's still defending. They're going to go up and all the way around here, but Boreal are not there. They're doing Roche.
It seems like Pain are just not really thinking about this.
Are they not
Roche
shooting
timing.
rockets and scouting it out? That's a bit interesting.
I don't think they're aware of it. They see Boreal off the map. Maybe they were anticipating a smoke of their own, but Tiburon grabs the Aegis again, and Willez on the Earthshaker. He gets himself the cheese.
All right, good grabs from them. This is Boreal's chance to do what they did before. Feeling confident enough now with Aegis in hand. They got buybacks ready to go. You know, the only thing that holds them between this and a game number 3 is a set of racks here in the top lane. They got 5 men wiped in the previous push, but by that point, Pain Gaming had taken too much damage and everything was on cooldown that they couldn't even pressure and force out the buyback from Boreal. So here we are, like I said, like 10 minutes later, we'll get to see another
stalemate.
go.
Everyone's just, look at this line. He was almost stacking the Ancients, then he goes, oh, wait a second, those aren't my Ancients. I'll just kill them instead.
Can't be just standing around waiting. Got to be utilizing efficiency and farm all during that while.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame Pain for turtling up right now. There is nothing else they can do. Their only option is defend the base, make sure creeps don't come in, and save what few safety structures we have left. They have to get some creequilibrium if they want to even have a chance at taking a fight here. We're waiting on Boreal. They're the ones that have to be the aggressors. It's not going to be Pain. They tried. That was at a bad timing, but still, they just can't afford to leave the base.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting the creep wave out from the base, which is good for them, because if Boreal do want to make pressure inside this top lane, they got to make sure they keep the pressure on mid and bottom as well. That way, Pain don't feel too comfortable. Even if they go to take a fight, they're mid lane throne, which is already the tier 4s have been taken down, is going to be exposed. And you don't want to have that happen, but it looks like
they'll finally come into the what could be the final fight. They do it properly this time. They've tried the Storm, dive in and isolate the Witch Doctor strat. It's backfired twice now. Maybe they'll just try to do it straight up. It looks like more so Boreal want to do some split pushing here. Force out a fight, then have somebody focus on pushing the creeps in. HFN moves out of the base, pushes back the Storm. And Tiburon, he feels the heat.
I like this ward.
He just backs on out.
They have a ward up on the side cliff seeing Dewey in the woods nearby. So they know when Storm's in that mid lane. They know exactly how many people are committed to this push top and how many people are just hiding in wait. I mean, you look at the vision right here. They know exactly where Shadow Fiend and Dewey are. Is it worth making the jump onto Dewey to take him out?
Possibly. With the refresher up, he is one of the bigger threats on that dire side. The GA is completely crippling to pretty much all of their damage. So maybe.
There it is. They are going to make the jump. They go up onto Dewey. They bounce him back. Baga catches him, could lock him down in place, and they should be able to finish him off before he gets anything off.
They do.
Dewey. That's immediately dead.
Throne.
He can't buy back. He can't buy back into Guardian Angel. Meanwhile, back by the throne, 40R gets a hold of Tiburon and takes him out. Another strong defense coming out from Pain Gaming. They do lose 2 in the exchange.
They got to kill him again.
They're going to kill him twice.
Wow, he's got a BKB. He doesn't even get a chance to use it, but they do lose their Shadow Shaman and Clockwork. Boreal repelled again. A 2 for 2, but they throw away the Aegis. They force out a buyback on the Shadow Shaman. Not that that one matters too much. Boreal just can't close this out.
They are trying a man fight here with 747. HFN is just going to slowly take him down. Shadow Fiend, what are you doing? That's a free kill.
That is a complete freebie.
Whoa!
Is this the throw? They have to force this buyback onto Shadow Fiend. That is their only chance to take this game.
90 seconds. They have some time, but they got to keep these lanes pushed. And you can see Willie's frantically running around Invis. Just maybe there's a way to stop them from getting across the river, but Zyori, it's already been past an hour. This game will continue to extend as long as Pain Gaming want to hold on.
That's absolutely true. I mean, Pain Gaming, I guess they've got a chance here. I still feel like they have no options, even if they get a 5-man wipe on Boreal. Just getting to the base alone, pushing through the mega creeps in the mid lane. I don't know if they'll even be able to force this buyback on the Shadow Fiend. There's nobody back defending. Looking at BOTs, there's only one set up on the sniper. Everyone else has a TP except that of the Void. He does not have a mobility option here.
One thing they do have, Agnum's wards from Baga.
Okay. All right. They've got 30 seconds while the Shadow Fiend's dead.
Oh, Fisher's going to block it out. Still no buyback. HFN pokes at the tower from the low ground with his bits of damage. He actually is doing some good work here. Oh, force forward. Juan tries to catch him on the other side of the fissure. It's going to force out a Guardian Angel, but it's not going to save him from the assassinate. Lion goes down. Jump forward. Willies gets the stun onto HFN. Echo Slam follow up, and now the Chrono gets pulled out. And the second Guardian Angel going to be popped is saving Tiburon's life.
But there's another Chrono.
Second Chrono. He hops out and away from it. They still get Willies, however, and will right-click him down. This is saving HFN.
Meanwhile,
under the dome.
Radiant base. 747, he's going for the win. He's BKB'd, almost kills the Rasta, relegates him to the well. Susie might have secured the win here. Buyback on the Storm. Baga, can he hold this off? There's your Hex, but Tiburon, he comes zipping on in. They get the kill on Baga, and that's going to do it. They go for the throne, and after 65 long minutes, it is Boreal that take us to a Game 3 ace match. What a slugfest of a game.
That was too scary for Boreal. They were, you could just tell, they were nervous. They did not want to have a rerun of game number 1. They had already brought together a huge lead. They pot down 2 sets of racks, and then they get 5-man wiped on one push. They get nearly wiped again the second push, and then that looked like a promising fight, but they make the heads-up play and call to go in from back into the back door. Shadow Fiend gets the throne. And they get their win.
Boreal
get a Game 3.
Just have trouble closing it out. They should have been able to close it out a lot earlier than that. Multiple failed team fights where they were completely wiped up. They tried that Storm dive in deep strategy with the global GA. Completely backfired, so they still sealed the deal, but boy was it close. So coming into Game 3, I'm really not sure who has the edge. Pain Gaming seemed to be a little more tight, but at the same time, it is Boreal that just bested him.
I think this is just justified that it could be a coin flips chance at this point, but we don't want to delay it any further. That was a long-winded game, and we got to find out which of these two teams is going to be qualifying for Phase 2, so you couldn't ask for anything better than a full 3-game series. So with that said, we'll wrap things up. Show us some support on our Twitter. I'm KotLGuy. That's Zyori. Catch him at Zyori TV, and of course, show some support for Beyond the Summit for doing the English coverage by hitting that follow button down below. We'll be back in just a moment for game number 3 of Pain Gaming taking on Boreal Esports.